Welcome to another episode of Ruff Talk VR, a weekly podcast with in-depth game reviews, exclusive developer interviews, and the latest MetaQuest and virtual reality news. We join our hosts, the father-son team of D. Scruffles and Stratus today, as they spend another episode breaking down and discussing the world of virtual reality.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we have one that we are so excited for, because, I thought we were lucky to get it one time. Twice? No way.
You can go your whole life in the woods and never see Bigfoot.
Yeah, we have today the creator of Grimm returning to the show, Spoonfed. And when we were visiting the Combat Waffle Studio in person, when we told people that we interviewed Spoon, it was no way.
Yeah, they're pretty shocked.
Yeah, this is one that we're definitely,
I feel a little shocked.
Feel lucky to have the first time, and now we have him again.
Even more lucky because freaking Grimm just hit the world, and it's not a secret. There's a lot of work being done. So
no, we've been playing it, and mid gaming session we got kicked out because an update got pushed on a Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. The game's got a 4.1 with 237 reviews on the MetaQuest right now, which not many games have hit those several hundred reviews in the first couple weeks in the current state of the store. So huge props there. But right off the top, congratulations on launch. And how does it feel to see people playing your game with full servers? Yeah.
The first week was kind of a giant headache with all the server issues. So that kind of took the excitement out of release, but I got those resolved fairly quickly.
Was that easier? Sorry, keep going too.
I haven't looked at a single review on Meta, Steam, none of it, because I take it all to heart, so I don't want to see it.
Now, which is honestly probably the safest thing to do, because even with the best thing in the world, there'll always be even if it's just somebody trolling, it's not worth putting your heart and soul into something to have someone just nonchalantly unqualifiedly shit on it. So that's actually pretty smart. I don't know if I'd have that willpower though.
Well, and somebody who's crazy motivated like you, I feel like it'd be dangerous to have you in the reviews, because who knows what's going to be on your upcoming radar of things you want to add after reading 200 reviews, 200 plus reviews. Shit, I do need that in the game.
No, I like the way it's going. But was anyone really shocked when this thing was going to go live that servers were going to
melt,
per se?
I think I told y'all the day before that the servers were going to melt.
And is it just one of those things that it's easier to figure out the server stuff once there's actually a lot of people in there?
That's what I wondered.
So because it wasn't full, it's kind of hard to figure out beforehand.
Yeah, we did a lot of QA testing internally with Combat Waffle. We would fill up the servers, but they wouldn't be long enough. They'd be a few hours, and I just couldn't get the amount of players for the amount of time I needed to find the issue. So releasing it helped, but it also kind of hurt because of the server issues.
No, but as you mentioned, you were on it instant. There was no delay. There wasn't I'll get to it. It's no, you were instantly throwing fixes, resetting server. I did curse your name on that Friday night. I was we're just going. I'm dude, what's going on, man?
We had so much supplies ready.
The guy's just running in place, and then it dawned on me. I'm I'll bet you anything. And I go to Discord, and I'm yup, it's 100% what's going on. But I give you a lot of credit for being on. You're proactive. It's you want the best experience possible, certainly, and you're doing everything you can. And I can only imagine at this moment that we're talking, you're still doing stuff.
And my Quest build just finished. So
is that just bug fixes and quality of life stuff, or are you pumping out already new features and stuff?
So essentially, I have a staging branch up, and it's public. Anyone on Steam or Meta can switch to the staging branch and test whatever I'm working on currently. I decided to do that so I didn't just push straight to live and cause every server to break. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, is using these staging branches as public testing. which has new features, bug fixes, quality of life. Like, I look through all the suggestions in the Discord. I typically don't respond to them, but I do see people's comments and concerns and whatnot.
So that's actually cool that anybody can just switch to the staging
Yeah,
branch.
I thought I had read that they were doing and it's legit, like it's a test server, correct?
So everyone has like own servers there? Like, I'm guessing you can't go to the same servers as the live branch if you're on the staging branch.
Yeah.
But
you'll only see the staging server, and it's only up if I have it up. If I don't have anything that I'm working on, I don't bother putting it up. But I've made a lot of changes for next week's update, so I wanted to get it tested early.
That's a cool. It's pretty much anyone that wants to be like a beta tester of what's coming next. Although it's funny to say beta tester because the game was, and smartly, put out as early access alpha. Yep. So you're beta testing an alpha.
It's a damn
release,
good alpha, dude.
Yeah.
It's a damn good alpha.
One of the if we're gonna say it's an alpha release, it's one of the most polished alpha launches I've ever seen. It's more of an early access, just plain early access, but.
So I know the $1 million question. I'm just going to put it out there, even though I'm kind of torn on it. The more I play Grim, I don't see the need for it, but I understand. But the world wants a tutorial, some sort of hold me by the hand processing. Is this something that we're considering?
So I have the tutorial pretty much done. I'm hoping to release it on Thursday. Don't hold me to it because I may find more issues with it. Right now, I've played through this tutorial like 100 times, trying to soft lock the game, hard lock the game, trying to figure out the best order for each section of the tutorial. So I'm hoping it'll come out this week, but I can't guarantee it.
Okay. Well,
I didn't think we would ever see one, to be honest with you.
Well, dude, the real irony is the people that might have screamed on day one, like, oh my God, I need a tutorial, have already figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this satisfaction that comes when you figure something out that you clearly didn't understand before. So I'm like, at start, I was kind of like, oh man, I wish there was this. I wish there was that, like even pre-map being put in. But then we figured it out. So there was that sense of like, I don't need a map. I know where I'm going. I know how to use the land as my reference. But I also understand new players going in might be like,
they need to know to hold two hands on the rock.
I got a rock, dude. Like, I don't know what to do.
So how in depth does the tutorial go? Kind of speaking to what you're saying, like you don't want to give away everything, but you gotta push them along a little bit, it seems.
It's pretty basic. It's holding rock with two hands, hitting a tree, building like a very small base, interacting with like the mushrooms and the hemp. It's just very basic. Like it doesn't go into like raiding or crafting C4 or door camping. It should take about 15 minutes to go through, somewhere around there, and anybody that kind of knows what they're doing can just speed right through it. But it is going to be a required thing, so players do have to go through it.
So if you're already a current player, is there going to be a day I'm going to turn it on and it's going to be like, bro, you need to do the tutorial?
Yep.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, then everyone can say that they've at the very least, like
everyone's got the same training going in.
Yeah, it's like passing a driving test. It's like you got to at least to go on to Mars. That's at least.
And I honestly think out of anything I've read about Grim, that's been the number one thing I think people have, and it's only for the new players. But again, a week later, you're going to have a lot of this already. You're going to be past that point.
Especially if it's basic, but I think that will be good so that people can come in and out and have an idea of where to go or what to do. But I think the biggest quality of life, like addition that I saw added during the development cycle that I also didn't think we would ever see was the map. Having the map in this game is like, it's such a game changer. But I was shocked when you added it. Did that take a lot of fight to get that added, or was that you being like, you know what, we need this thing?
I wanted to add a map, but I was saving it for the island. Mars, I was just not going to have a map. And then I just got a wild hair and decided to do it. For the next update, I did change it to where the map, when you bring it up, it will center in on you. Like previously, it wouldn't do that. And now if you long hold the inventory button, it will auto pull up the map instead of you having to go in and click the little icon.
Ooh, that's huge.
All right, that's cool.
And huge props on the grid coordinate system on the map, because that's how we communicate with it. I'll be like, hey, where'd you load in? You C8. Okay. I'll be right there. I'm on D7.
Minutes.
Yep, I'm on D7.
I get distracted too easy too.
Yeah, I start to find stuff to loot and break into.
I will say socially, we feel that the crowd has been a little more nicer than we would have thought.
I wanted to ask about that. Have you been watching players play?
I have not. I've been too busy working. Like, I haven't played the game since it released. I got on the staging server last night with short stacks because I made about 500 changes yesterday to OpenXR, and trying to see if I can bring VRAM usage down with OpenXR. That's the only time I've played.
That actually makes me sad.
Just too busy.
I just figured you'd like pop in now and then and see what people are up to.
Yeah.
Or
well, I can say in the interactions I've seen and been a part of, I was expecting so much more like a vicious behavior from people.
Yeah.
People are kind of being kind.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if it's because of the no tutorial. That there's
they don't
this
know
thing
what they're doing yet.
Yeah. Well, and it's like everyone's you kind of like you feel a little sympathetic for the guy, like, oh, look at him, he's lost. He doesn't even know what he's doing yet.
You kidding me? I beat the shit out of someone sleeping in a dome the other day. I know.
I'm talking about what I've witnessed, not what I've done. But I wonder if after the tutorial's added, if we'll see a little bit more of the
aggression,
mean behavior. I would see.
I think as the world grows.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
people get better at it.
Yeah, more people are coming. It's like you're going to start doing what people do. You're going to start forming gangs, and look, they already exist.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I was amazed at the amount of servers. I didn't know there was going to be that many servers.
Yeah, that was kind of a mistake. There. So I had originally planned on 40 servers. And everybody told me, no, you should add more servers just in case. So that's what I did. And then I immediately regretted it because once the servers go up, I can't take them down until the next monthly wipe or players are going to lose progress.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So does that mean after this next monthly wipe, we'll have a smaller server list because of that?
There's 19 servers now, and then the staging server.
Okay.
Perfect. Because a lot of people.
We were seeing, you'd see situations where some servers would be at like 30 people full, then there would be like, one to choose from with 3 people in there. That's going to force much higher population servers as well, too, which is where the game shines. It's going to be interesting.
So we did notice something in the menu. And we're curious about, and you can say pound salt. I'm not answering, but it goes with you already know where I'm going with this.
100%.
Right? Yeah,
because to me, this is like where the fuck is this game going?
Yeah, what's the next part of this? But there seemed to be a button for game mode, correct?
Mm-hmm. There's game mode, map type, which you referenced island, so I can already picture switching between Mars and island. But then it says game mode survival.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is there other game modes coming? What's up with the menu options there?
Not officially. So I set everything up in the menu and the server stuff. There's server tags now. So when community servers get released, people can add like what tag they want to put on the server so they can sort it. So if players have a server and they've modified it to be PvE only, they can change the mode to PvE and then filter it that way.
Okay. So just laying the foundation for when these things are there later.
Love the idea of private servers.
Yeah. So speaking of community servers, is that something that's on kind of the back burner right now? I'd imagine like you launch and it's like bug fixes, stuff like that on the back burner. But with you, I never really know. So
I'd like to get the community servers out this year. I haven't really thought about it too much. I'm trying to get the game as stable as possible right now. But once that is done, I have to go through and add like moderation tools and whatnot for community servers.
That makes sense. Somebody running around screaming, whatever. You got to be able to boot them. Or just being a toxic player, just you need to have that ability to get them out. That makes sense.
Yeah, I can't just put out the community servers and then people hosting them have no way to control anything. So
I didn't think of that. That would be a terrible oversight.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We had that with our CS server. Admin always had the ability to just kick a player or ban a player.
And the official servers, are those always going to maintain the same wipe schedule? Because I did notice the ability to search by monthly and stuff too. So that's going to be in community and private servers.
Community will have bi-weekly and monthly. Technically, they can have a year-long wipe if they really want to. The server's probably going to explode, but they can do that if they want to.
Oh man.
So we can't even speculate cost on servers yet, can we?
Oh, if you were a user and you wanted to rent one, probably too early to talk about that stuff, I imagine.
As of right now, I don't know costs or anything, but spec-wise, it's 2-core CPU and a minimum 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Okay.
That's not too bad for... So you'd run it off of a PC computer? So would your computer have to be on for the server to be going, I imagine?
You could rent like my testing server is the same server I host like PokeQuest on. It's just a cloud server and I remote into it and start it up or shut it down whenever I want. But the plan is to right now for the official servers we use 4 players. The plan is to partner with them so people can go to them to host their servers. And then if you've bought the game on Steam, you will have access to the Windows and Linux servers so you can host them yourself. They'll be included as tools in the game.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. This is the type of stuff that happens when it's gamers making games.
I've done both, like leaving a computer plugged in server for gaming, but
and cloud.
Also, I mean, I would just rent it. I think I'd rent it out of New York City.
When you talk electricity costs as well, too, it's like, well, it's probably going to add up the same to just rent it.
Some of the server, I mean, dude, it's hooked up the way you want it, man. It's got your shit in it. You just got to set up your admin functions and stuff. But no, I couldn't be more excited, dude.
Yeah, it's so cool to see.
I know you're probably working harder than you work just to get the game released, and then you got people like us go, this is just fucking great, can't wait for the next thing to...
Does it feel, I mean, I can't imagine how it feels. You worked on this for how many years now?
7 years.
6-7 years, and then like people are playing it, they can buy it. Like, I know you said you were a little bummed about the initial server issues, but I just can't help but think that must be such a trippy thing to see your little project now be alive and people playing with it and using it. That's so cool.
The weird part is it doesn't feel any different to me than it did when it was in testing, like closed testing. I don't know why. That first week, I probably got like 12 hours of sleep that whole first week trying to figure out what the network issues were, and it was actually real stupid looking back at it, and I should have caught it a lot sooner, but it just doesn't feel any different for me. Like my plan is to build the game in my vision. I want it to grow. I don't know.
It's probably because it's not to where you want it to be in your creative vision. Yeah. So to you, it's like it's still in development. It's not out yet.
It's not complete.
It's not. It might as well not be out yet because it's still got so much to go.
Here yet.
So let me ask about that because I don't think that was the case last time we had you on. I don't think we had talked about.
There was a discussion about Island, I believe.
So I know the game was originally that more island environment, then you switch it to Mars. It sounds like you have like full plans to bring the island map back.
Yeah, the plan has always to get back to the island. Mars was just a stepping stone so I could get to release. The Quest 2, I couldn't do the island on without dumbing everything down, and I refused to dumb everything down.
But I don't think you have to do the Quest 2 anymore, so I'm curious how it would do on the Quest, like without the Quest 2 restriction, if the Quest 3 could handle the island.
Yeah, it can.
That
is said with some eyebrow raising confidence.
Yeah, that was so casual.
I'm not even going to get into the
It was like, yeah, no, I 100%.
Play it every day. What are you talking about, bro?
Oh man,
trust me, you can handle my island.
So is this something? Is this something you want in 2025, or do you anticipate it's going to take a long time to get the island like ready to go?
I would like to get it out this year. Whether that happens or not, I do not know. We built Mars in basically a year and a month. Yeah, it just depends. I don't have a definite answer on it. I would like to get it out before winter of this year, the end of the year.
Damn,
that would be insane. To me, an island is a completely different gameplay loop as well too, because there's not the oxygen tanks. I believe when we talked to you last time, you said the oxygen tanks came from going underwater.
Yeah, swimming on the island.
So, but you don't need to walk around the whole. So it's like it's kind of a completely different game, on the island.
It'd be a totally different experience.
Well, you have to worry about bears a lot more on the island because they'll get you from anywhere instead of just the dome.
Oh, fuck that bear. I have noticed players are kind of smart in that they're like, when I go on a heavily populated server, everyone has bow and arrows. Like it's like the go-to number one, like right away, get a bow and arrow, and you kind of have to.
A lot of people suck at shooting them.
Yeah. We got shot. we saw probably 100 arrows go by our head with somebody.
Even if someone has a gun, and it's like, if they got a gun and I don't, I just try to see how many. I know I'm going to get shot eventually, but how many can I dodge? Just watching you waste bullets.
Hey, did the durability of wood go up? By the way, I was trying to smash the shit out of somebody's base to break in the other day, and I
wouldn't let me in so easy.
I felt like I went through so many tools before it broke. Has wood gotten stronger?
It was before release. I refactored all the damage for tools and whatnot that they do to build parts, and same with bullets. Just because people were breaking into bases so easy,
guilty.
Like it shouldn't be that easy.
Yeah, I went to go do that same behavior.
I can't be, even though I'm on the end with you, we're beating the shit out of the outside of someone's base. I get the change.
No, it was 100% necessary. Yeah. I've had people come out of their base with crossbows as I'm standing on the roof.
Oh, just beating on it,
pounding, going through like 12 rocks.
Yeah, so before release, you could take one of the cleavers and break down a wood door and still have help on the cleaver left over. Now it takes like 8 cleavers to go through a wood door.
Oh, wow. So there's like, it's not just a minor touch up. You got to, so C4 is the best way to get in now, like regardless of material.
Rockets.
Yeah.
Oh,
rockets will get into anything.
Rockets do splash damage, so they can do more damage to multiple built parts at once, versus C4 will only damage what it is attached to.
That is just cruel. Somebody in their base and they just got hit by multiple rockets.
Yeah, I remember the videos when those rockets were being
I think came out during Gamescom, I feel like.
It was fucking stupid. But getting shot by a rocket. Imagine like 5 people running around with those.
I've yet to see somebody walking around with a rocket launcher too.
Well,
people are going to get good at it. I'm scared for the day that people have like an army of.
I'm curious, like what percentage of people have explored all the points of interest.
Oh, so little, because I've even seen people say like, "There's not that many points of interest," and it's like, no, there's a lot. You just haven't found them.
Yeah.
That's a you problem, my man.
You don't. Are you able to track data of where people go on the maps mainly. I mean, you don't have to divulge because certainly we don't want to give an upper hand, but like there are significant points of interest if people are interested on Mars that you've created, but are people actually going there and exploring those areas?
I don't store any of that data. I'm not a fan of analytics because I would rather save that bandwidth for actual gameplay than trying to do analytics that I might look at every few months. It's I can see coordinates of where every player is, but how long they've been there or all of that kind of information I can't see.
Okay.
Which is by choice. I don't like putting more stress on the server than I have to.
Well, you're a gamer. You know, it's like you're given like there's a difference between I'll do it because it can be done versus I don't want to do it because that little bit of bandwidth might equate to something.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want that something to take away.
I'd rather it go to the game itself than data.
Yeah.
Than tracking.
I mean, but you are an enigma, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You're like next level. And I'm just hoping that, I mean, it's like, I think last time we talked, you said you want to work on this for like 10 years.
Yep.
Holy shit. Will there ever be a celebratory
launch of it?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, at what will there ever just be that moment of like, holy shit, I did it? You know, is it going to be 10 years before you'll even accept the fact of what you've done and accomplished? It's pretty crazy to watch going down.
Well, dude, the best of it's yet to come. Like, we're starting to see
nothing.
YouTube videos are coming out of tutorials. Like,
I thought the best of what was coming was months ago when I was in there, and then a week later I see something else being added, and I'm like, holy shit, man.
I look at Grimm's popularity like a snowball rolling down a hill. It's like the longer it rolls, the more it gets popular. Like the more videos there are educating players, the more people are live streaming it. It's only going to grow.
Yeah, I've seen more people.
The YouTube
posting,
videos, it's picking up a lot.
Yep.
The reception's been generally positive from creators as well too.
When it's to me, it's going to create its own culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the long-term viability of it is 100% on the table more than some other experiences where, you know, they're good today but gone tomorrow.
Right now,
you could make a life out of just playing Grim.
People are still hearing about Grim right now. Like everyone's heard of Ghost of Tabor. Like it's made its full rounds and it's done damn good. Because of that, people are still catching on to what Grim is. In a year of this early access, I feel like everyone's going to know what Grim is.
Might not be for everyone, though.
Well, no game is.
No,
definitely not for everyone from the complaints I've seen.
No game is, though. You know, and it's
not that I encourage you to look at the rating breakdown, but the rating breakdown is exactly how I envisioned it would really go.
Pretty much 1 or 5 star.
Yep. It's either I love it, it's everything I ever wanted, or, you know, I fucking hate this. It's like, I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah.
And that's what I wanted. I wanted a brutal game that just threw you in there and you just kind of had to figure it out. I wanted people to go in and then hate themselves while they're learning the game.
Well, mission accomplished.
I think you did it, man. I don't think you failed in that department.
It's just,
I mean, full disclosure, dude, when we first started playing in early access, right? I was one of the people who was like, I don't know what the hell I can't get anything. I'm useless. I'm holding my rock. I'm swinging it at everything. Nothing's happening. The game's broken. So I sent you a message and I'm like, dude, I feel so bad asking this. How do I get a rock, man?
It's funny because people that jump in, they don't really know what to do. So they just assume that the game has no depth when it has a very large amount of depth to it. The further along you get into it. So it's kind of just watching those players get over that first hurdle of figuring out what to do and then realizing that there is more to the game, and then they get hooked and they're playing 8 to 12 hours a day.
Grim is truly an onion. It's like you keep peeling a layer, there's another layer to it. There's another layer to it.
And that doesn't even get into the strategy aspect of just basic strategy. If you want to team play, you want to be a rolling gang and Mad Max the shit out of it.
Door camp.
Door camp.
We were trying to start to give some tips for Grim as well too, and we were saying like if you're a new player, like just spend your first times just build bases, just hunt resources and figure out how building bases works for
and you
that
can do
first
that
week.
in the main menu now.
Yeah, in the pre go into the game. Yeah,
I tried to kill the dude sitting there.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Did y'all see the vending machines?
In the main dome?
Yeah,
Like
in the
menu area?
main menu. Yeah. If you turn around and go to that warehouse, there's vending machines all along that wall now, and you can essentially spawn any item in the game.
I have not.
That's cool. So it's pretty
And
much
you
a
know why I
sandbox
have not?
mode.
Because I already know how to play, so I go right in and hit the
That's a
friggin' play button.
Great way to play around with different building strategies and the way the mechanics work and what even items are possible to get in the game. You're gonna be like, how the fuck do I get a machine gun?
That's actually really cool.
Yeah,
I had no idea. I feel like an idiot.
Yeah, I wanted to add a spawn menu type deal for people, but I didn't really want to do a menu because it felt cheap. And then one of the testers one day mentioned, why don't you just do the vending machines? It clicked right then. So 5 minutes later, I went in and added 12 vending machines and all the items to them. And they're all sorted by their item types.
Oh man,
It's my fault for not exploring a menu dome.
For a new player though, that is a huge opportunity to go in.
Dude, you get
and
real
just play
familiar.
around without resource restrictions.
And it's not even really for new players. If you have a base design you want to test out, you can test it out in there, and then you can go get C4 and rockets and see how durable your base actually is.
All right, that's a pro tip you're
That's
dropping
actually
right now.
really
Yeah,
smart.
That's not even funny.
Holy shit. Do structural layout tests, durability tests.
Well, no, dude, I'm not gonna lie.
That is so smart.
I built a handful of bases, and when I'm said and done, I'm like, I wish I didn't do that. I wish I had put this here. Why didn't I do this second floor and put a wall here? So that's damn. How long has that been out now?
Since release, slightly before release, I think.
Okay.
That's a good addition in there for sure.
I got psyched enough when the first time I loaded, admittingly, the first time I loaded in and saw the dude in the spacesuit.
Yeah, like I said, I tried to smash him with a rock.
Oh, dude, you had me dying. Like, there's an NPC in here sitting down.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, there's no NPCs that sit down and like take a break in the game. So, like, I'm trying to kill him, but I'm like, you're at the menu, bro.
Fuck. That's funny. I like those type of interactive menus and like shit to do in the main menu. That's not a explored enough element in VR gaming.
That's honestly, that menu. That's probably the biggest tip you could drop on anybody. They don't have to go in the game and get killed to
learn how to build and how to use the weapons, what the weapons do.
It's almost like a cheat code now. That's
a little debug menu.
Wow. No, but for structured design, I like that a lot.
Yeah. Do you have any other tips for
that was a good
new
one.
Players? Yeah, that was a real good one.
I don't know if you can beat that one.
No, not really.
Go in and play. Go in and play and learn, and you're gonna die.
Yeah,
a whole
get
bunch.
used to dying over and over and over.
That's part of the fun.
Sleeping bags are your friend.
Yeah. Lay a sleeping bag. If you're venturing off, you don't want to walk all the way back.
I'm sad that Spoon's not going in and able to play his own creation.
Selfishly,
I'm waiting for the island.
Fair enough. I miss getting tours, man. I won't lie. I had like really good. I got some good tours of Grim as it was going down. This was a neat experience to watch go down, by the way.
Yeah, the whole development cycle of it.
The graphical changes.
That I give all the time I talk about it. The huge props to the graphics team.
Environmental artists.
The artists that work on Grim. It's some of the best looking standalone graphics at that scale in all of Quest, in my opinion.
We have it on PC VR as well.
Yeah, we usually end up playing it on Quest.
Well,
We're already in other games and we switch over to Grim. And like it I won't lie, it looks better on PC VR, of course.
We'll concede.
But it's an understatement.
It's damn good on Quest.
I don't think the barriers of PC VR and standalone are so drastic anymore.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously you see more anyways because you're in it. So there's going to be no fooling you. But to the average consumer, I can't go into PC VR and be like, it doesn't get better than this. You know, like that relationship's getting tighter. It's got to be. But I will admit it does look better on PC VR.
But like we were saying, the environment team that works on Grim, they all
Crushing it.
crush it.
Yeah.
So cool to see, like I said, so many of the servers pretty much full. Like it looks like a pretty high like daily active user count. Do you have any like numbers on like how many users are actually playing the game? I could go in and manually add it up, right? If I added up all the servers and
and
how many people are in right now, you know?
Who's playing?
Yeah,
at this moment?
the first week, it was close to 800 concurrent. But that was when all the server issues were happening, so it kind of fell off from there. Now it's anywhere from 300 to 600 concurrent.
Damn.
For early access alpha,
Dude, sick.
that's really not bad. So huge props to you for pulling this off. I didn't think that we would ever see it. I thought that there was even going to be part of you that maybe would like refuse to release it until it's finally done.
I'm just happy it came out when it did because I was praying it wasn't going to come out December.
Well, it was supposed to come out I think the same week as Behemoth is when it was originally going to come out, but I convinced them to push it back, not because I was worried about another game, but because of the server issues, to give me another month and a half to try to get them resolved, which clearly did not work.
But I guess one could say, had it come out at the same time that it was originally slated, it potentially, I mean, am I crazy? It would have been worse. Wouldn't have been the same exact issue, right? Would have been just a.
Well, you think like maybe some minor fixes did get like, you know, maybe it wasn't solved, but it was in a better state after a month and a half.
Much worse, like if it was a month earlier, or is it still the same exact problem? Just would have been there, and I don't know. I'm happy with the release.
Well, I was still adding and fixing stuff while I was trying to track down this. Like I've been trying to track down the server issue since October. It's when I first discovered it. So I was still bug fixing and adding stuff between trying to resolve the server issues.
All right, I'm gonna get wicked technical on this question because I know based on it, like the mental image people have. So you're a developer, you've worked on your thing, you've got it running on the server. There is a server issue. What exactly?
How do you start?
That's where like besides the recognition of, oh crap, something's wrong. It's like, where do you begin to even go, I need to find where this problem is, and how do I isolate it to find exactly where it is, and where's the starting point for this even exist?
So at first I thought it was network issues, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense because I could see the bandwidth in and out from clients, and it was very low. So as much as I thought it may have been a network issue, I kind of knew that it wasn't. And then it got to the point where I was like just blaming my server provider. All the stats on the server provider looked fine. I refactored the entire foliage system and all the networking on it because I thought maybe it was related to that because of some things that were happening when the server decided it didn't want to be a server anymore. So I built this whole cool grid system that breaks all the foliage, like the harvesting stuff, the trees, the nodes, and all that. It breaks it down into like grids on the map. To lower the network so it doesn't send all that data to everyone. It just sends the data relevant to you. I thought that would fix it. Did not fix it. Ended up being a CPU issue. So when you grab a rock, it ignores the collision on you, so it's not hitting you, but you can still hit other players, and it adds that into a map. So every time someone put their rock in their inventory, it wouldn't take it out of that map. So every time someone took something in, took it out, every melee weapon, that map just got bigger and bigger and bigger until the server was down to like 3 FPS. So that was the issue, was people putting their melee weapons away because I wasn't clearing that map properly.
Holy crap, dude!
Wow, that's some good technical insight. But it is always like this.
I've always wondered,
Mm-hmm.
because you hear people say like, "Oh, I'm debugging." It's like, what are you really doing though? Like, are you looking at lines of code?
Mm-hmm.
Looking for like a typo?
Well,
So
Unreal has Unreal Insights. You can see everything that's happening on any given frame, and how much time it takes to process something. And that's where I discovered the collision issue. Going into that map was never coming out. Eventually, the timing on that specific section just got bigger and bigger.
So then once you discovered it, was it like a simple fix?
I fixed it in 5 minutes.
Oh, that's the worst part. That's the way it goes.
I fixed it, and then I put out the update like an hour later.
Yep. It sounded like it. Okay, I'm not tech savvy at that end of things in the development side. It sounded like once it was identified that it would be a simple fix, 5 minutes. Oh, you must have been so frustrated that it took that time.
I was happy. I was happier about that than the launch or anything like that. That bug fix was like the prize.
Well,
because I had been struggling with it since October, which it had been in much. It's been in since I started working on the game, probably.
There's not enough people in there for it to like replicate enough times for it to actually be an issue. Oh man, that's awesome! It's always this. It's always the smallest thing when you're searching at that scale.
And that's pretty much the same process anytime there's an issue. Then, yeah,
mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Well, we got to think too. It's like it's one thing to like there's the development side, like the actual coding of the game, but then networking is its own whole can of worms, especially when you're going to have this many servers.
You got to have them working together.
This many players. So that's its own
multi-platform.
Yeah, that's its own kind of can of worms to go into. Wow. It's always the simplest thing. And I got to ask too, and I hate to ask this because it's like the most selfish question that a consumer can ask or a fan of a VR game. I ask it more because I think people would
want to know.
They'd want to know.
Yeah.
So I ask it on behalf of the VR community, but are you able to speak to some things that might be coming to Grim in the near future? I know we talked about some things like community maps and, eventually the island, hopefully by the end of the year. With you, that sounds very, very possible, but that, eventually they're coming. But are there things that you want to add in the near future that you're able to speak on?
No, not really. Next week there's supply signals, just smoke grenades that you can throw and it'll call in an airdrop. You can find those. And then I added a barbecue grill. But outside of that, like my focus is bug fixing, quality of life, and getting things stable before I don't care to add content. I want the game to be as stable as possible before I start adding any kind of content or features. Okay, if it's simple, I'll add it, like the barbecue. I've had the barbecue grill model for months now. I just haven't had the time to do it. And then the supply signal, same thing. Like I have so many models for new stuff that I just haven't had the time to get in yet.
Well, all things considered, I'd rather have that answer be what you said than I'm going to add a bunch of shit knowing that on the back end.
It's also like, it's a super in-depth game. Like we referenced before, it's an onion. You keep peeling it. So it's not like a game that needs a bunch more content either. It's like, it's checked off very good there. So I understand that focus.
But it was a good question.
Well,
A lot of the content is going to come in for the island. Mars kind of limits me on what I can do with stuff that makes sense. Like, I want to add mini copters that players can fly, but it doesn't make sense to add it to Mars when they can just fly outside the edge of the map. Where on island, you're over water, so it doesn't look visually stupid.
Nope, I get it.
Limited
I
by-
was almost going to ask the mini copter question with Island, but I was like keeping my mouth shut. So I'm glad we actually got that as a possibility in the.
Oh, it's not a positive. It's going to happen. Same for boats, swimming, diving. I want to do fishing.
Boats?
I thought about added fishing to Mars and putting ponds inside the domes, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
That would make sense scientifically, right? Like, it's a biodome. There's bears and deer. There could
It's
be
a bear, bro.
fish. Out in the middle of the bear and Mars is a different question, but in the biodome, I could see that. But boats? So would you? I'm guessing you'd craft the boat, or would you find a boat?
You would find it.
Okay.
Yeah, there would be a set amount per server, and they would spawn, and whenever one was destroyed, a new one would spawn in and take its place. So there'd always be a set amount.
Does this mean naval warfare?
I mean,
Boat
technically, you could build a base like by or in the water and then store your boat in that base.
This game.
I don't want to hear more about Island because it's going to take away from Mars. I'm not going to lie, man. It's like, it's like the more you keep talking about it, like, damn, man. I really
a lot of my
want this
plans are I'm saving for Island. There's a lot of quality of life and new like building stuff that I can do for Mars. I'm just very limited on what I can do with Mars that makes sense environment wise.
Nope, I get it. You're keeping to your own written lore. You're not breaking like
keeping it quote unquote realistic.
Dude.
Except for the barbecue grill. The barbecue grill's not very realistic on Mars, but I added it anyway.
And that's going to be functional to like cook the meat that you get from the deer and stuff.
Yeah.
You just throw it on top.
I think it has 4 slots to cook in. So whenever you turn it on, it'll open up and it'll light up and the flames coming out. And when you turn it off, it'll automatically close.
Anything it needs for fuel?
Wood.
To use?
Wood.
Oh man,
wood.
Barbecue grill in our base. That's gonna be it's gonna be pretty badass.
I just picture a bunch of people all hanging around.
Yeah, you're having a barbecue,
just hanging out, chilling on Mars,
having some Mars beers. You
know, you can play this game however you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can be ruthless. You could be total pacifist if you want.
You can be obsessed with building. You can be obsessed with exploring. Like, what is your cup of tea?
So I've always questioned: is it always going to take on the like? I can go and kill, or will there ever be the possibility of like just a no gun sandbox server?
So what I want to do with community servers, I want to release like an SDK to where people can modify the game themselves so that their servers can pretty much have their own rules. They're free to do whatever they want.
It's perfect.
Yeah. You could have everybody help each other. We're just going to all explore, no killing server.
Imagine the size of a base you could have if you had a full server all working on one. That's ridiculous.
I love the idea of like a continuous Twitch stream of like a stationary camera on Grim on like one of the servers, like way up high and just broadcasting what's going on in that server at all times.
Hunger Games style.
Yeah, you catch people's real asshole behavior live. They can't even say that they didn't do it, you know?
Yeah, let's not do that.
Like that's gonna be.
I've done some shit, you know. I might have violated some bodies.
Well, y'all can be casters for it. I give y'all access. Y'all control the camera, and y'all can pretend like you're sportscasters.
Look at we got excess Jimmy Johns.
Call the server play.
That's funny.
You really could.
I mean, something we've been doing a lot recently. I don't want to use the word a lot. We do it sometimes if it just looks like a fun victim. Somebody's sleeping there. I'm going to steal their oxygen tank. So when they come on, they have no oxygen tank. To me, it's just hilarious.
Happened to me several times.
I've never taken spoons. I killed you once by accident. That was when I was like, oh, you can see who the people are before you kill them. Yep. Probably shouldn't have done that.
So when someone's sleeping, like it has their held item for left and right hand, and I logged into the staging server yesterday and I had 2 rocks in my hands. I was like, where the hell did these come from?
Somebody put rocks in your hands?
Yeah, somebody put rocks in my hands. So when I spawned in, they were just there.
Oh, I remember I gave you some food once.
Mm-hmm.
You were sleeping because you're not known for your hiding spots. It was in the middle of the road. I'm like, who the hell's this? I'm like, oh, it's Spoon. This was earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll give him some food so when he wakes up, he'll have some snacks. I took nothing and I killed nothing. But other players, so if someone, I mean, honestly, because I'm trying to like, is there even a workaround for this? If you take someone's oxygen tank and they're asleep in a dome and they have no rock.
They hope they can get, the small domes, the air tanks are outside, so they're pretty much just going to die.
It's over. Oh,
it's terrible trolling to do to somebody, especially.
It's funny, but dude,
why am I dying?
Spare tanks are good though.
Mm-hmm.
So go hide, at least
100%.
hide yourself.
100%. A second tank that's full to the top. Come on, man. That's priceless.
I think I went somewhere with Spoon. You need like 3 tanks.
Yeah, always carry like 5 tanks because you never know.
Jesus,
Crazy.
I thought I was good with my 2.
Nah, dude, this dude rolls like end of the world shit.
I was also spawning stuff in and giving it to him. So,
oh yeah, I didn't earn it. This was for a tour. There's no way.
Then he immediately died as soon as we got into the
I heard this story.
tunnels.
So funny.
Yep. Oh, dude.
You were like, didn't you try to spawn him back in there? But since he didn't have a radiation suit, and you were trying to give him one fast enough.
Yeah. I teleported him to me and made him pick up all his stuff real quick. I think he survived that. I don't.
Yeah, but dude, you know how embarrassed I was.
You get all this shit and you die in 2 seconds.
No, the amount of buildup. We walk to it. All right, this is exactly what you're going to need so you can see it. And in full disclosure, took nothing that we ran across out of fairness to the other players, right? Because this was strictly a
visual tour,
a show and tell, right? Yeah. Just need you to fucking survive. And I'm 10 seconds. First NPCs, boom, boom. I'm like, I'm fucking dead. And I thought in my head, I'm like, I'm going to have to walk 15 minutes all the way back here with my head hung low. I was so embarrassed. I get spawned back in, and after that, then you go, hey, just so you know, it's going to be an NPC right there in front of you. You know, like, yeah, I figured that out when he shot me in the head.
Yeah, we ran into a group of testers, and we just kind of followed them as they ran through the tunnels.
Yep.
That's the smart way to do it.
Those rewards are if you can do it, I mean, more power to you. Holy shit.
That goes back to the onion. You know, how many people that walk in or go into Graham and go, oh, there's not much depth in it, even know about these type of tunnels and the buildup of resources you have to get to be able to go through them and the rewards for actually going through them. Like, the game has so much depth to it. It's
understatement, dude. And now it just has, now you all got me focused on Island more than I am what we're currently playing.
Welcome to my life. That's all I think about is getting back to the island.
You playing on let's just poke at Island Bear, I guess, for a minute. Do you anticipate same size map
bigger.
or big? I figured.
Why wouldn't it be?
Right.
There's going to be boats, you know, it's got to be bigger.
Stretch the limit. Well, and little fucking helicopters, dude.
Is this going to have a lore tie-in? Not that you strike me as a crazy.
I'm not a lore person. Anything you see with lore didn't come from me, and I don't consider it. I just don't do lore.
I figured I was going to ask if there was a tie-in with the Ghost of Tabor Island, but it doesn't sound like it. Fuck it. Here's the game. Here's all the features.
There's
to
a tie-in.
Yeah, but it's not going to come from Spoon.
I'm excited for every change. It's just it's hard to keep up because Spoonfed does programs quick. You know, it honest to God, you could spend every day. You might. This is being honest. Like leading up to release and then that release, it was like
an update a day.
Even when I had under good authority from you that's it, no more updates until it releases, whatever. Or no, this was for Gamescom. That's right. Until I got everything's good. Like there's another update. There's another update. There's another update. There's another, like, oh my God, man, there's so many freaking updates.
I miss those days. It's like I can't. Like there's stuff now that I have fixed that I just can't. I could push it out, but I don't want to kick everyone offline just to update. And the way the Quest does its updates, it's like a 7 gigabyte update every time. And I just can't justify making that many people angry pushing out an update as much as I want to, and it hurts not being able to.
So you try to time the updates now with wipes, like we said, like with the server wipes and stuff?
Yeah, unless it's something that's game breaking, I'll fix it, but I'm gonna try. So the plan is for weekly wipes, putting out hot fixes, bug fixes, and then monthly wipe content updates.
That makes sense. That's like a anticipated schedule for consumers to follow as well too. Oh man, I can just picture you grinding your teeth like I just want to fucking push this build right now.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Did that change come from like pushing builds and then hearing people like me and him being like, "We got kicked off"?
Yeah. I just get tired of looking in the Discord and seeing people complaining that they got kicked off their server because I updated and then it's not showing up. And
are the servers down?
Yeah.
Are the servers down?
Yeah. That makes sense, though.
Oh, speaking of servers going down, the funny part was the day that I fixed the server issues, I put out that update, and then an hour and a half later, EOS went down, so nobody could play. I was like, "This is my luck. I finally fixed this issue, and then EOS goes down."
Something completely out of your control now.
Yeah,
Can't even fix it if you wanted to.
Bet you could, if they'd let you look at it. Probably find where it went wrong.
That's too funny. Spoon, man, it's awesome that you took the time to.
I'm still amazed. We're a twofer.
If it,
Are we done?
I'll wrap it up in a minute. That way you can get back to coding. Although I'm sure if we kept you would keep going as well too. I just always like to leave on a high note.
That as we're talking. Do you really think?
Always like to leave on a high note. But if you could be so kind, I mean, I might be asking a lot here, but it would be good to get, every like 6 months or so.
I was gonna
some spoon-fed check-ins on the state of Grim.
Especially with so much happening.
But
so many changes.
Whenever y'all want me on, just let me know.
We can lock you in.
I can make an hour of my day. I'm good. That's just one less hour of sleep. So
next time we'll try to time it on.
Well, twice a year. That's 20. We'll lock them in for 20.
We'll try to time it on a UFC fight where the day it looks like the guy you want to win is going to win for sure. We'll try to do it the next day after that. Too funny. Before we wrap it up, before we let Spoon go, I mean, we covered a lot of ground on this one. Is there anything?
There was just some critical stuff I wanted answers more for,
like the game modes and stuff like that.
More of a community thing of people knowing, and then the reality of the tutorials and the depth. A lot of knowledge dropped with.
I mean, this is your chance, so
it's like
you don't want to forget.
100%. There'll be something.
When I get off this call, I'm immediately going to get a message. Oh, I forgot this.
Can I get a written statement on this? No,
I think it's a ton of knowledge. I think the best advice probably in the whole thing is take advantage of the menu area.
Holy shit! How did I not know that?
Because you know how to. Why would you go?
Yeah, just go straight in. If I could know.
Why am I going to harvest wood?
Tunnel vision. Like I need to go build.
But now I need to go.
And actually no other Sandbox stuff. Yeah.
No, I think the check-ins will be great because I anticipate
a lot of stuff coming in the future.
Unpredictable amount. I can't ever predict what's happening.
Now I'm going to be thinking about Island.
I'm constantly I'm going to be thinking. I wish we didn't talk about Island. No, the future of Grim, in just my opinion, it looks good and it's in good hands, and I think you're responding to the community accordingly, and
it's so much less toxic than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah, man, I'm almost
give it
sad
time
about that. Yeah. Let it fester.
Time.
It is so untoxic. Yeah, I'm almost sad at the lack of.
It's so untoxic. I'm a dick.
I'm the rude
guy.
One.
Man.
I'm the rude one.
Admittingly, although CV Lang shot us both.
Yeah, but I was fucking with his base, so that's self-defense.
Base, yeah.
That's self-defense, not respecting property laws and stuff. So, thank you thank you so much for taking the time with us, Spoon. Always a good chat. Leave on a high note, but we'll definitely, if you're down, like you said, you are, we'll have you back on in a few months. We'll talk a little bit more about the status of Grim and try to make it a recurring thing, because
hopefully
the
you're
game,
able to go in the game.
Grim's only going to get better every week. So it's like how you play it today. That's the worst Grim will ever be, right?
Yeah.
Like next week it's going to be better. Next week it's going to be better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully as long as server backup, things come up, but it's only going to get better. So I think that there's a lot of place to have you on, on these checkups. So thank you a bunch for taking the time.
Yeah.
Spoon,
sounds good. Appreciate y'all.
You're the man. Can't believe it's freaking out in the wild. It's pretty trippy. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the future of it. New maps, bug fixes, quality of life, a tutorial. Holy shit. So thanks a bunch and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, Spoon.
All right. Appreciate it. Y'all too.
Ciao, ciao.